couple guys that come to mind: Joey Bosa, potentially, JJ Watt. I know those are big names to fill, but when you look at the size of this guy, the explosiveness, and then you look at the defense that he's coming into, it's a no-brainer that this guy can have a breakout year. I'm Nathan Johnston, alongside my co-host Brad Hopkins. It's time to break the huddle. Brad, big week for us here at Break the Huddle as we break down our last 5 portal guys coming into the 2025 season. And we're not going to waste anyone's time. We're going to jump right into it. We got some big names coming into the season, quite literally. Starting off with the one and only Beau Atkinson, coming into Ohio State via North Carolina, was a late transfer portal addition for the Buckeyes. Spent time even in spring practice with Bill Belichick, decided, hey, this isn't for me, transfers over to Ohio State. Let's start off with the Atkinson addition. It might be an addiction for the Ohio State defense by the time he's done there. But just a quick intro, as I just talked about, coming over from North Carolina, chooses Ohio State over Georgia and others, a very highly sought after guy. Break down the stats for us and the size of this guy and what he brings to this defense.
Absolutely, Nate. So 7.5 sacks, 12 TFLs. Nate, this is really, I think, the stat that stood out to me, 25 pressures. So a guy that, just looking at the stats, he's strong, obviously, in disrupting the pocket, getting after the quarterback. But TFLs always, especially from an edge guy, that always, kind of perks my ears up that he is good against the run. But then just a guy that is just violent, rushing the passer. 25 pressures is nothing to laugh at. That's very, very good. I think he's going to have the chance to put even up better numbers at Ohio State. I think he's, no offense to the North Carolina fans, I think he's probably around a little bit better, quote unquote, supporting cast. So some other guys are going to take pressure off. And Beau Atkinson's got a chance for a big year. I feel like he's got a good frame. I know you're going to hit on that, but this just feels like an Ohio State guy.
Yeah, 6'6", 265 pounds. And the one thing that sticks out to me, Brad, is, and I believe this is correct, he's got 2 years of eligibility left. This is a guy that you want on your defensive side of the ball, a disruptive playmaker, someone who's, like you said, 25 pressures is not to overlook, a guy who's going to really bring it into Ohio State. And new defensive coordinator, Matt Patricia.
Matt Patricia, right.
I was drawing a blank on the first name. I knew it was Coach Patricia. Kind of funny, though, Bill Belichick, Patricia coach together. He leaves Bill to go be with Patricia. Don't know why that is, considering that Belichick taught Patricia everything he knows. But nonetheless, this is a great fit for Beau Atkinson. Let's talk about why it matters, Brad. You look at our notes right here. Lost JT, and I'm not going to try to pronounce his last name. Jack Sawyer gone. Ty Hamilton gone. Tyleek Williams gone. Now they have to bring in some additional portal guys. Again, new defensive coordinator as well. Why does it matter for Ohio State to bring in a guy like Beau Atkinson?
I mean, Nate, you think about just Ohio State just continues year in and year out. They remind me a little bit of Clemson in this. Ohio State's going to have a very, very good front four on that defensive line. We know, especially in Big Ten play, that defensive line matters. That front four matters. And I even, to go a step farther, think about their season opener with Texas. Texas is a big physical team. You got to have bodies there. This guy really, I think he's a perfect replacement for Jack Sawyer. I'm not saying they're identically the same player, but I think he's a plug and play kind of guy, and this is going to be big. I think I'm interested to see how Matt Patricia plays this guy. Is he getting 75% of the snaps? Is he just coming in, situationally on third down to rush the passer? But this is a guy that's definitely going to have an important role for Ohio State. You mentioned they're replacing some guys, and this was a big pickup for the Buckeyes.
Yeah, a huge pickup. And I know I'm big on NFL comparisons. I'm going to throw out a couple for you, and you let me know which ones stick, or if you can think of another one. A couple guys that come to mind: Joey Bosa, potentially.
Yeah.
JJ Watt. I know those are big names to fill, but when you look at the size of this guy, the explosiveness, and then you look at the defense that he's coming into, it's a no-brainer that this guy, I was trying to word it correctly, it's a no-brainer that this guy can have a breakout year. There's no reason for him not to.
Right. And absolutely. And, once again, kind of just, going back to you mentioned Matt Patricia. I think he's gonna put him with his hand in the dirt. I think he's gonna stand him up. He's gonna be a very multi-tooled player. And once again, Ohio State with the Big Ten, 1 week they're going to be facing a team, that is going to want to throw the ball over the yard, and then you may have Michigan the next week. So I think having guys with that flexibility, with that position flexibility, is very, very valuable. This guy, Nate, you hit on this. This guy was extremely sought after in the portal. North Carolina hated to lose this guy.
Yeah.
And when the second this guy went in, I mean, he was there. There were a lot of big programs after him. Georgia was hot after him. Ohio State ultimately lands him, and once again, plug and play guy. I think he's gonna. I really, really think he's got a chance to put up double-digit sack numbers this year.
I think so too. And let's go to the next section. Fit under Matt Patricia. We kind of briefly mentioned it. He chooses to go play under Matt Patricia instead of Bill Belichick. Obviously, both have the capabilities of being great defensive coaches. Mm-hmm. First year for defensive coordinator Matt Patricia, replaces Jim Knowles, who's another great DC, goes to their rival in Penn State. Okay. Tom Allen, obviously, Penn State to Clemson as well. We'll get into that later on. But this is a new scheme, NFL-style edge usage, and I think it plays perfect to Beau Atkinson. Love to get your take about Beau Atkinson playing specifically under a guy like Matt Patricia.
Yeah, I think he's going to really – I think he's going to utilize him with his hand in the dirt. I think he's going to, maybe stand him up sometimes. I mean, if you're a Patriots fan, if you follow the Patriots, Matt Patricia, kind of run more traditionally kind of a 3-4, a multiple 3-4 where, he uses these edge guys in a lot of different ways. And so I think Beau Atkinson going to a place like Ohio State, there's some potential left in the tank there, and I think Matt Patricia is going to get everything out of him he can.
Yeah, and then you look at the surrounding personnel that's going to be around him. The other edge guys: Caden Curry, Kenyatta Jackson Jr., Joshua Mickens, C.J. Hicks. This room's loaded, Brad. Mm-hmm. This Ohio State defense, we saw the Alabama defenses over the year, and it was never like, they've got to replace. It was reload. I think Ohio State's in that position now where it's just plug and play.
Absolutely.
You get these guys year after year that want to come play at Ohio State for the Buckeyes, and Beau Atkinson is going to be another Ohio State great, in my opinion, even though, yes, there will be an asterisk next to his name because he is a transfer. He's going to make an immediate impact. I mean, these guys combined for just all of these guys combined for just one start in 2024. Atkinson brings that needed experience for these guys.
Absolutely, and that's valuable. And you mentioned the defense that Ohio State's running out there. I mean, not going to get into all the names, but now it just feels like Ohio State's just got that dude Ohio State's just got a dude at every level. And look, if a quarterback is immediately feeling pressure from the pocket, he's thrown into the vicinity of guess who, Caleb Downs, and so all these guys just feeding off each other. I know we're going to get into our predictions next week. Ohio State's going to be right up there in the Big Ten picture, obviously in the national picture. Just a big get. I was really, really intrigued with this guy went in. Obviously, Georgia was hot after him. He ends up choosing Ohio State. And that edge group, you mentioned those 4 names that it's in that room. Very, very talented. Some highly rated guys in that room. They got they added a couple more edge transfers in addition, but a really big room. Matt Patricia is going to let these guys go too. He's gonna tell them, pin your ears back and get after the quarterback.
Absolutely. And one more take on this guy. And that's, Atkinson gives Ohio State a proven pass rusher to anchor a young edge unit. That's exactly what we've talked about during this episode is, they need that proven guy. They need that proven leader, and they lose a guy like Jack Sawyer, a guy who's been in the program for so long. Curious to see how he fits in. I think in today's era, it's not as difficult as it used to be to bring in a guy from another team and have him fit in right away. The guys are what I would consider very accepting in today's locker rooms.
Yeah. Nate, something else, just one final point, then I'll turn it back over to you to wrap us up. This is going to be, you think about some of the North Carolina defenses he's been on have not been good. And so once again, I go back to he is now, I think he takes advantage because he's got a lot more talent around him, and it's going to free him up to where he may be one-on-one most of the game. And like I said, that leads me to believe that he's gonna have a chance to get double-digit sacks. I just think having just other dudes, just specifically on that front four, that front seven, you can't focus on this guy like they did it. No, once again, no disrespect to North Carolina, but especially those final few years under Matt Brown, those were some some rough defenses. And now he goes into a defensive room that everyone is just super, super talented. It's going to be tough to just focus on this guy.
Yeah, and you bring up a great point too. Think about the reps these guys are getting in practice. Mm-hmm. I mean, not alone is he able to set the tone for the other defensive rushers, defensive edge rushers. He's going against an Ohio State offensive line that's proven as well. That's only going to make them better as well in the long run. I mean, we see the dominant Georgia defenses over the years, 2021, 2022, and we heard multiple times about the offensive players going, we're not going to play a better defense all year. And I think this could attribute to Ohio State's offense.
And it was the same way when Alabama went on that.
Yeah.
And Alabama's offense said the same thing. So, absolutely. And look, this is, these two units going against each other. I mean, it makes them better just, being right there.
Cohesiveness,
exactly, yeah.
Ohio State fans, we'd love to hear what you have to say in the comments. Who will lead Ohio State in sacks this season? Will it be Beau Atkinson, or will it be a returning Buckeye? Be sure to like this video, comment down below, hit that subscribe button, and turn on that bell notification so you can stay up to date when we post our latest video. We'll see you next week. It's time to break the huddle.